4th of July here today, and this little girl tomorrow will be 3 weeks old. I can't believe it. So we are loving her. You know, that newborn phase where I haven't gotten out of bed or out of my chair too much, trying to heal up. But I want to share a few things that I've been doing while I'm laying there nursing her or sitting there burping her, that you can start doing as early as a few days after giving birth. And that is working on your 360 breathing, right? I'll go over that briefly. Doing your Kegels and doing your transverse abdominal hugs. And if it's your first kid, during the first week, you should be good doing that. If it's your second, maybe the second week. And if it's your third, I'm learning maybe your third week, you can start doing that. I've had to make sure I take it easy and not push myself too much, because apparently each kid, it takes longer to heal up from. So, you know, go at your own pace, but definitely you can start these right away, but listen to your body. You know, if you get extra bleeding or whatever your symptoms may be, then back off, wait a few days. Only do 5 reps or 5, you know, minutes of it, not even minutes, like 2 minutes of it. And do what you can where there's so little. But I'll show you a few things laying down. I just got her to stop crying, so we'll see if we can do this. But while you're side laying, if you nurse that way, or just laying in bed with them, you can do a few things to start strengthening your body. So one is a Kegel, right? So that whole pelvic floor, you're pulling up into your body and then you're releasing. Up into your body and releasing. And that you can do while you're sitting or laying in bed very easily. And if you just had your baby, it's going to be really hard because those muscles were very stretched out. And I notice I can't even feel that motion. I can't even do it, you know, the day after I give birth. But a few days later, you'll be able to engage it a little bit and then release. And just do a few a day, and that's it. But as you get stronger and the weeks go on, work on engaging and releasing, working those fast twitch muscle fibers, and then work on engaging and holding. And you may not be able to do it till week 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on how weak your pelvic floor is. But try to hold it for 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and then release it. And that's working those slow twitch muscle fibers. So that again you can do as you're sitting here, or as you're laying, or whatever position as you're standing and bouncing them, whatever position you're in. And then another thing is to work on your breathing and just taking deep breaths. And this is good for overall stress too, because I know those first few weeks are so stressful just because it's a change, you know, whether it's your first kid or your third or your fifth, it's a change. So just work on deep breaths and not, you know, breathing into your shoulders, but doing that 360 breath, right? Allowing your rib cage to expand. And if you're laying on your back, think about pushing your back into the bed or ground or wherever you're laying, chair, so that you're getting your belly and your back to expand, and then your lower rib cage area. So work on that. And then another thing to work on, especially that first week, is releasing tension, right? If you're breastfeeding, you know, whether you're new at it or you're a veteran breastfeeder, releasing tension, right? I find myself clenching my shoulders or clenching my jaw, you know, because your nipples are sensitive at first, right? Or clenching my shoulder blade, like I'll find that, or my butt even. So just as you're laying there nursing them or feeding them a bottle or whatever you're doing, or just sitting there holding them, think about releasing. All right, where am I tight? Oh, my butt's clenched, release. Oh, my shoulder blades are clenched, release. You know, my abs are clenched, release. My shoulders are clenched, release. My jaw, sometimes I just have to tap my jaw to get it to release. And that'll help a lot with aches and pains and just overall stress too, and handling everything. So those those body checks I do constantly, especially the first 2 weeks. And just as I'm laying there, releasing, thinking about releasing tension. And then the last thing is your transverse abdominal hugs. Now, if you've never done these before, you're not going to be able to feel them right after giving birth. So give it a few months even before you try to figure it out. But check out my other videos on YouTube or my website for how to engage those. But if you do know how to engage them, it's going to feel a little different without a baby in your belly, right? Now, instead of hugging your baby, you're kind of hugging your belly button, we'll say. But you can do that. I'm doing them right now. As you're holding them, as you're laying there nursing. And again, work those fast twitch muscle fibers by contracting and releasing. And work those slow twitch muscle fibers too by holding and trying to engage your pelvic floor at the same time. Trying to breathe and then release. And again, those are going to be very difficult the first few weeks, but just do, 4 or 5 here or there throughout the day or every other day, whenever you remember, just to start to build strength back, to wake up those muscles again. And then after you're a few weeks out, now I tried to do these last week, which was week 2 for me, and my body didn't like it. So I waited till this week, and I maybe did it twice this week, but I'll keep doing it more and more as I get stronger, is to do some inner thigh squeezes with your pillow and some outer thigh clamshells, just simple motions. And I'll show you those, and hopefully she doesn't start crying. But when you're laying on your side, and make sure you're getting down on your side and then rolling to your back if you're gonna lay on your back. But say you're laying on your side, put your pillow, let me lay her down. Put your pillow between your legs. Hold on. Support your neck, okay? Put your pillow between your legs and make sure you're at 90 degrees and 90 degrees. And get yourself aligned, your spine aligned. And whether you're nursing or you're just laying with her, you can do your Kegels in this position, right? You can do your transverse abdominal hugs. You can work on releasing tension in different parts of your body. You can work on your 360 breaths by expanding your rib cage, your lower rib cage, your abdominals and your back, right? And not letting it come up into your shoulders. And then after a few weeks, you can start doing little pillow squeezes. So I'm just squeezing 1, 2, 3, and releasing. Squeezing 1, 2, 3, and releasing. And that's it, really basic. You could do little clamshells too, if you're starting to feel stronger, right? Just baby clamshells, okay? You don't have to open all the way up. Just do little ones. If you're 4 or 5 weeks and you're laying there, you can start to do straight leg extensions, okay? Now, I already feel this. You're gonna feel weak at first, and that's okay. Just say, all right, I'm gonna do 10, that's it. And then, when you're laying on your other side, make sure you do the other side. Some days I forget to repeat the other side, but do them the next day. If you want a few things to do. If you feel like, your upper body is tight, especially if you're nursing and you're kind of clenching here, work on releasing that. But while you're laying here, you can just do some shoulder blade squeezes. So open up, stretch out your shoulder, and then squeeze those muscles in the back, and then release it. And then open up and squeeze those muscles in the back and release. And the whole time you're doing it, keep that rib cage down. And your transverse abdominal hug, so you're not arching your back as you're doing it. You're keeping this strong, and you're just opening up and squeezing. Opening up and squeezing. And then you can, there's a wall behind me, but if there isn't, you can just open up, extend your arm flat on your bed or wherever you're at, just to give yourself a nice little stretch. And week 1, 2, that might be too much, especially if you've had a C-section, but a little bit later on, try that as well. If you feel like you're stuck, always laying next to your baby, you're always holding them, there's a few movements that you can do as you're laying there. So inner thigh squeezes, clamshells, and then a little back extension exercise. You can do other things if you feel like you want to work your arms, just don't overdo it. Listen to your body, don't go crazy. Make sure you do the other side and just soak up those snuggles with that little peanut of yours. And there you go, a few things you can do the first few weeks after having a baby. My little sleepy helper for today.